What's up? We are doing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and also Raiders of the Lost Ark, and also Temple of Doom. Not in that order. 90% normal difficulty. This game is really, really hard, but we do it really, really fast. Timer starts at -4 seconds because it takes 4 seconds for the cutscene to load, which we then immediately skip. So, this game, first of all, is pretty awesome. It was made by Factor 5 Entertainment. I believe they're the same people who did, like, Rogue Squadron. Really cool guys. We got some bad fish. It is what it is. So we're going to be doing a lot of jumping and a lot of boosting over people, kind of getting through things without getting wrecked. That little spike right there could have been the end of us, but we are okay. So there's a lot of forgiveness in these levels, just in terms of how much health you can grab, which is really nice. There's also a lot of technicality to these runs, which I really enjoy, because, I don't know, I just like it when a run gets very skill-based. And the reason I say it's very technical, there's a lot of RNG in this game, even though there was weirdly not a lot of RNG in this game. So let me explain that. There are different sets of enemies that can spawn, and depending on which set of enemies spawns, that will change the amount of memory that is available to the Super Nintendo. And depending on whether or not you kill certain enemies, you know, other groups of enemies may or may not spawn. I am constantly seeing a new enemy that I've never known to spawn because something weird happened. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I gotta concentrate on this level because just about anything can make you dead. There is only a single trap in this level that will not kill you. That was it. Just a little bit of focus, because of course the boulder is a one-hit kill. This is actually one of very few levels upon which there is no RNG, because there are no groups of enemies to spawn and try to wreck you. You'll also notice me kind of jumping up hills and trying to run downhill. This is the only level this happens on, but here, running uphill slows you down and running downhill speeds you up. So I do try to take advantage of that whenever I possibly can. You gotta go fast. Unfortunately, there are a couple of levels in this game where you can't go too fast, but we'll get there. Alright, we survived. Alright, skipping more cutscenes. If we were to watch these cutscenes, you would realize very quickly that the people who designed and created this game maybe didn't watch the Indiana Jones movies. You might see a little bit of that in the end credits, but we're not going to watch very much of that. This level has some annoying mechanics. One of them, this is a little fun, we get to roll underneath a wolf here. So these snowballs that are rolling down can be really treacherous. They don't do any damage, but they do knock you backwards. Quick leap of faith right here. It is actually faster to go down below because you have to avoid some birds that are up at the top. Alright, we got a good boost off that guy's head. So of course you don't want to get shot because it'll knock you backwards. That was actually a very beautiful hill climb. That hill can be really nasty. We'll see if RNG wolf oh, he's there. Alright. No way to know if that wolf is gonna show up. Normally he shows up if you're doing a bad job, but sometimes he just shows up anyway to make you nervous. Alright. You might recall when Indiana Jones set a bar on fire. Probably wasn't actually his fault, but we have to avoid it anyway. Or at least that's what the designers of this game thought happened. Nudge this box, and we make some jumps. You need to walk up those stairs, because if you jump over them for whatever reason, the flaming barrel doesn't quite spawn early enough, and you can cause yourself to not be able to get over that little ridge, which is not good. Oop. Jump quite high enough there. So despite the fact that we're going through this really fast, this game is actually really, really hard. Okay, yeah, so that box just went too far down. Sometimes that happens. You have to go rescue it from the flames. And here's our very first boss fight. Funny enough, the boss fights are kind of the easiest thing in this game. We got him. For this one, we just have to wait for the score to count up. Not sure why that is. Let's hang around for a minute. We got there. Yeah, this game is really, really difficult. It's very brutal casually. There are several levels where you will just throw your controller out of the window. I'll point those out when we get to them, but essentially all the Mode 7 levels. We've made it to Cairo. This is a really fun place. There's a lot of, there's kind of cool movement tech in it. Just to know quite where to go, what to grab a whip hold on, where to move, what to jump on, all that jazz. But there are also a few places where we will break physics. I just missed a whip, so we're going to have to deal with that coming up here soon, I believe. Nope, that's a gun. There we go. We're back in business. So physics doesn't work that way, but we're going to make it do it anyway. And occasionally you'll see me roll at things. Rolling is ever so slightly faster than running, but it's not always extremely useful. And so I don't do it everywhere. Because if you are rolling and you bump into an enemy, it reverses your direction and you'll just start going the other way, which is absolutely not what we want to do. Forward motion is much preferred. So there is a mechanic in this game where you can jump down through ledges. I don't really ever do it unless I have to, because it is slower than just walking off of a ledge and falling down that way. Also, you may think this is a wall, but turns out not exactly. It's kind of a wall sometimes, when it wants to be. So now we just shoot the guy like Indy does, and we move on. Yeah. So this next level, good times. You all remember the scene in the movies where Indiana Jones chased a cart through Cairo, shooting at a man on the back, and then fought an airplane mechanic on top of the cart, right? I'm pretty sure that happened in the movies. I think that happened. So the game kind of wants us to like chase this cart and shoot him down, but really we can just kind of roll underneath it and get behind him and just shoot him in the butt until he dies. I'm pretty sure if I got shot in the butt 12 times, I would also die. So I think this airplane mechanic is just kind of flying around waiting to ambush us, but we're going to win this fight by mashing R. We don't push any other buttons, just R, a whole bunch, and we have won the fight. Alright, so Cairo at night. This is the first time we get to like really question how physics works in this game. It's not terrible most of the time, but sometimes just really weird things happen, and the whipping mechanics don't always do quite what you think. So here we're just going to rise ourselves into the air. Indy has biceps of steel. Oop, got slashed, that's okay. Get a little bit of forgiveness here. Dodge some more dudes. And coming up here is our very first, how did that happen? So right over here, we're going to go ahead and push a wicker basket, and watch carefully, that's how physics works. I whip to the left, and now I'm jumping again to the right. Perfect. Just as the laws of physics dictate. We got lucky on top of that rooftop. One of the guards that is supposed to be there did not spawn, so we got a little bit of a time boost, just kind of moving forward. Here we just kind of dodge all this stuff, but oops. Alright, well, we're just going to have to deal with that mistake. No big deal. Ow. Ow, stop shooting me. Thank you. Alright, and we're on. Alright, here we use what's called a bird boost. There's too much stuff to not get hit by in the beginning of this level, so we just let the bird hit us as much as it possibly can. And believe it or not, that makes everything a little bit faster. We'll be doing a lot of rolling in this level because rolling is fast. And really, we're just kind of dodging things. This is kind of a pretty straightforward level. We just move, we jump, and we move some more. If we do it really well, there will be a minecart on screen as we are leaving the level. I think that minecart didn't spawn. And we boost off of his head because nobody knows what he's shooting at. I'm pretty sure he saw a traitor in that direction and he was trying to get him. Okay. So this is probably the first level casually where you will just throw your controller through the window. A lot of stuff can go really south here, including this guy not dying. There's a little trick that we can use that so far hasn't worked for me, but you can basically whip, and as you are landing on the ground, you can jump again. and do extra damage to the walls, but that doesn't seem to be cooperating with us today. Not a big deal. So here there's a ledge that we might be able to make the jump. I'm not going to risk that. I might have been able to make it, but not today. Okay, so these jumps are really, really tight. You have to be right at the very edge to do this. I died a lot on this part trying to learn this. Didn't quite get that to work. I am going to wait for this little ridge right here. You can actually make that jump without having to stop, but if you get hit by that wall, it really throws off the timing of seeing quite where you are. And so it's always better to waste a second than to die and waste like 50 of them. So, okay, we're going to do that same thing, except in the dark this time. And there is a clip that we can do in this level that'll let us jump through the floor, but it's very hard to accomplish. So I'm going to try it one time. If we get it, awesome. If we don't get it, we're just going to move on and pretend like everything was perfect anyway. And I'll let you know when it's coming up. Right now, we're just doing a little bit of climbing, a little bit of jumping, a little bit of climbing. Not necessarily in that order. And we'll try to get a 0 cycle. There we go, we did. Okay, so the clip is coming up right over here, and this might be it. Nope, we didn't get it. All right, we're moving on. It's possible to jump through the floor right there. It works when it feels like it. So here we just have to dodge a spike trap and a Nazi, and then we move on. There are whip holds here that you can use to jump over these pits, but it turns out you just don't need them. So many snakes in those levels. Of course, they're all one-hit kills. Asps, you know, very dangerous. Alright, here we get to see the bird punch. Boo! For every bird that has ever knocked me off of a cliff in this game, I take my vengeance. So this level is really difficult. This is the second time you will throw your controller out the window. There is just a lot of stuff that can hit you, and all of it will kill you immediately because it will just knock you into pits. Ninja Gaiden has nothing on this level. Okay, we got through pretty much the worst part. There's a expected boost right there. We want to take that hit so that it helps us kind of get through. We kill off a few birds and then move on. It's a very short level, but you will die to it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, so this is our boss of the very first movie. Thankfully, it is not too difficult. We just throw a grenade, which blows up that satchel, which is not a consistent thing. Grenades don't always blow up satchels, which is kind of weird. All right, we got a bad pixel position, so we're gonna have to readjust ourselves. Oh, this is gonna be a tough one. Oh, please work. Okay, good. That can go a lot better, but that can go a lot worse than that. There is a single pixel on the right that you can stand on. Maybe it's a 2-pixel window you can stand on that will let you always hit him and also always hit the ghosts. Because as we know, if you whip a ghost, it fades into the ether and never comes back. Alright, so we're on to the second movie. This is the hardest movie in this game. We're gonna do absolute danger strats on this level. It's super easy to die on this level. These crosshairs shoot bullets at you, obviously, but they don't cause any knockback, and you get no iframes from them. And so just dying is really easy to do on this level. We try our best not to do it, but I can't make you any real guarantees. Okay, we should be alright. We're good. We got our vial of a cure. If you didn't know, Indiana Jones gets poisoned at the beginning of the second movie, and he has to find a little vial that he chases around the ground. That's what we have done here. We have found that vial and cured him. We're not gonna die. Thank goodness. Okay. So in this level, if everything goes well, we will never touch the ground. We'll just stay on top of these little canvases, which all bounce you, except for this one, which you have to manually jump off of. I don't know why that one doesn't. I guess the designers felt like this game was too easy and they needed to throw you a curveball. Okay, so we got that jump. That was the only thing in this level I was really worried about. It's a pretty tough jump to make, but generally speaking, it's not too bad as long as you know more or less where you're going. And we're good. We can roll on out of the level. Never touched the ground. Alright, so we're moving on. Moving on away from Shanghai. And at this point, we don't touch the start button. We don't mash, because you can pause Mode 7 graphics before they load. That's how this game works. So this level's really fun, and I say fun with like emphasis on air quotes, because while it is a mechanically enjoyable level, it's just horrible. All of these trees and rocks, they're all sprite actors on the screen, but Mode 7 only has so much memory available to it, and let's just say if too many things are on the screen, certain trees and rocks can despawn, and if one thing despawns and suddenly memory is free, sometimes things can suddenly spawn in front of you. It can make for some really interesting scenarios where, you know, you're approaching a tree and you think you're going to avoid it and you start moving right, and then suddenly there's a rock. I have learned enough of a passage through this level where hopefully that won't happen to us. And sometimes this level is just hard. You can just bump into a tree. If that happens, we're going to lose about 2 seconds. Also, everything in this level does 1/3 of your total health pool, which is 2 damage because you have 6 hit points in this game, which is represented by the meter in the top left. Don't be deceived by its vile continuousness. Also, it looks like we died, but actually finished the level. That's how all the Mode 7 levels end in this game. They just kill you, and they say, oh, you've been doing this long enough.
Let's go.
So this is just a maze. This is probably the second place you'll throw your controller out the window. All we're doing here is just walking behind 4 statues in the proper order and from the proper direction. Unfortunately, it is not always really simple to do that. Because if you jump inside of a statue, you can get stuck inside of it and you'll have to roll in the direction that you came from. We're just going to do this. Weird position for that basket. Here we grenade because there are 2 enemies trying to block our path. And that's it. We just won the level. This whole level is based on a single scene in the second movie where Indy like pulls aside a statue and finds a secret passage. They made a whole level out of that. It lasted, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds in the movie. But now we've made it to the caves. These are awful. This is the point where you will not only throw. There we go. First point of awfulness. This is the point where you will not only throw your controller out the window, but your whole Super Nintendo and your TV and maybe your local GameStop retailer if you can find him. This level has a lot of things that want to kill you, and they are very, very good at doing it. I am at a very low health amount. We can still go kind of fast, but I do need to take some safety strats. I will do in just a second. We need to kill that guy, jump over here. Okay, so there's a bat on the bottom. We need to make sure it flies to the left. There we go. Come on, get out of my way. Thank you very much. So the lower part is kind of the end of the level. We just have to backtrack all the way to the left with an entirely different series of enemies. Because of course we do. There's a lot of little tiny strats in here to make things go faster. You can roll and get around pretty quickly. Most of the time, I prefer life over death, so we do take this hit right here on purpose, and then we should be able to just roll in and get some health and get on out of the level. So there are some rocks right here at the end. These are totally RNG. Hey, we got some good rocks. They can fall and knock you back as many times as they feel like. The game's no, I think you're right. I think it was when this game came out, it would have been Electronics Boutique. Would have been the correct retailer. Okay, so because that first time we went through this level was so easy, the designers said, you know what? We should give them a second level of that because they're going to love it so much. So because of that, I'm going to call this the 3rd time that you would throw everything out the window. And we did not get a good bat timing, so we had to unfortunately wait for that bat, but not a big deal. So we just keep on moving forward. There is a position in this level that's very hard to identify. It's a whip hold that you need to use in order to escape the level. When I was first learning this game, it took me more than a half hour of like just messing around in this level to find it. It's right over there. You have to be in just the right, there we go, just the right spot to hit it. I've got 2 hit points, so we're going to be real careful going up here. I do normally like to go a little bit faster here, but dying would be catastrophic. We would lose all of the time that we thought we had and then some. So we want this guy to walk toward us. Thank you very much. Okay, and now we're just trying to get rid of a bat. Alright, we're pretty much out of this level now. We have to grenade here to get rid of this guy, and then one more grenade to clear out the bats. And down we go. But yeah, imagine trying to find your way through this casually. These levels are awful. Alright, so this level is our second of 3 Mode 7 levels. We face 3 obstacles in this level. Number 1 are these switches, which we must shoot every switch exactly 1 time. The second obstacle are the dudes hanging out in the mine carts. We have to hit them a couple of times with our gun. And the final obstacle are roadblocks. I don't know why there are roadblocks in the middle of a mine shaft. There just are. There was no reason for that one. There are a lot of repeating patterns that we'll see in this level. One of the very frequently repeating ones is 3 guys and then a switch. So here we're going to see 1, 2, and then 1 more guy, and then there will be a switch on the left. And I believe that pattern happens 2 or 3 times. Hard to say. We're just moving on. Also, if you can swear you've heard this music before, it's because they use this song like 5 or 6 times throughout the game. It's in the fire raising level. It's in the boulder run level. It's here. They use it in the future. You'll see it come up again. I won't spoil levels for you in case you've never seen Indiana Jones and this is your first trek through 80s action. Classic track. So here's another 3 guys and then a switch. Oh, and of course I should mention that everything in Mode 7 levels can kill you. Oh, this is the end, by the way. This would normally have killed us, but we have succeeded. And of course, Mode 7 levels have no checkpoints, so if you die, you start from the very beginning. Good luck. So this is the boss fight of Movie 2. This is the Kalima Shock Delay guy. I don't know what he's really called. I'm sure it's something quite intimidating, but we're just gonna do a whip jump a few times and really just, you know, make him look like nothing. There it is. Alright, so we've made it. We are in the Last Crusade. Last Crusade is the shortest of the 3 movies, games. The game adaptation of the movie, this is the shortest one. Not because there are fewer levels, but because they are a little bit faster to get through. Alright, I'm going to need to focus here for a quick second. Okay, we're good. So there are 3 firewalls that pop up right at the beginning of this level. Each firewall will kill you immediately, as is tradition. And we have to dodge firewalls several times throughout this level. Here is our next instance where we will be dodging 2 of them. And by dodging, I just mean kind of ducking and not moving. Because there's no way to dodge them otherwise. They just kind of stick you in a bad place and say, well, you know, good luck. Okay, and here is our last one. We are now clear of firewalls. If you mess up that pattern, if it goes wrong, the firewalls become random. There is no way to know how many or when they will show up. Alright, so we're out of the Venice sewers, thank goodness. Why'd it have to be rats? I feel like there was an opportunity in this game to put the train scene of young Indiana Jones, but they just chose not to do it. So here we are again. You might recall the scene where Indiana Jones pretends to be a Scottish lord and a very upset nobleman claims to be Mickey Mouse. It really gets quite out of hand very quickly. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with that little situation. But on the bright side, this level does have a special guest appearance from a very famous actor. We're all excited to see him show up. All we have to do is get through a lot of stealth Nazis. I'll point those out as they show up, but they blend in very well with the walls. And I'll point out the one that I mean here pretty soon. Also, we get by this guy just by kind of boosting off of him. Not the best plan, but I mean, it works. Alright, so there's a stealth guy right here. You would never see that guy casually. You just wouldn't. He's impossible to view. Oh, alright, we're taking that hit. That's okay. Oh! Alright, we just grenade to get rid of this guy. And get ready for a very special guest appearance. He won't be here long. Uh-oh. Oh, we're okay. Say hello to Sean Connery. There he is. Say goodbye to Sean Connery. If we took a moment to speak with him, he would say his one voice line in the game, which is, Junior, and that's it. Alright, so Indiana Jones is very famous for his whip, and the game developers knew at least this much, and so they said, you know what this game needs? A level where you do nothing but use the whip. If you fall, you're dead. That sounds perfect. Thankfully, there is a little bit of forgiveness in this level. There are a few places where you can get hit by a bullet or get hit by an enemy and fall to the ground, but generally speaking, that doesn't happen much. So I just shifted my whip hold to the left. Typically, I grab every other one, but when I landed on the ground right there, I accidentally grabbed one whip hold that I didn't mean to, which did line us up well for the ending of this level, but it does mean we didn't pick up the grenade on the ground in front of the plane mechanic, who for some reason is in the third movie. And now we're on to the Zeppelin.
Let's go.
Alright, so this is a pretty simple level. There's not a whole lot going on. There's a bit of knowing where to go, but other than that, not a whole lot to worry about. We're just going to jump up here and hope that this guy doesn't spawn, and he didn't. That's good, but that does mean he's going to be down here. Oop, there we go. Just jump over this guy, hop on up here. The grenade, because it's faster than whipping him down. And okay, so that guy didn't show up, but that does mean he will be here. And the level is over. With 1 hit point to spare, thank goodness. Also, you do not skip any cutscenes after this level. You go straight into the last Mode 7 level, where we have to shoot down 20 enemy aircraft. These enemy aircraft are ruthless. They can shoot you down, and you don't take any knockback, of course, because that's how Mode 7 levels work. And of course, if we die in a Mode 7 level, there are no checkpoints. Get good or else. So I used to have record on easy for this game. I currently have record on normal. And on my easy run, when I had record, I actually died on this level. And the level completed anyway because my plane hadn't yet dropped off of the screen. So you being alive is kind of a soft requirement to finish this level. So long as your plane isn't gone, you can still win. I'm going to take this one on the right here for safety. It was a little bit slower, but I prefer to not die. Oh, gee. Okay, we're fine. He almost shot me down. That was a close one. Alright, so they've kidnapped Sean Connery. Oh no, we're not going to see him in the game again, but we do have to rescue him from a tank.
Let's go.
How do we do that? By fighting a guy on top of a tank. So there's a lot of hills in this level. I don't know why they made this level so hilly. It just kind of is. Hey, the guy on the bottom didn't spawn, which is good for us. We'll knock that guy out because we had an extra grenade. And we do a quick hop, skip, and a jump right here. That looks really tight, but it's actually really consistent. And this boss is really fun. He has 4 hit points, but if he hits you, he gets a hit point back. Also, we're on a timer. If you see a little meter at the bottom of the screen, if the tank gets to the skull, we lose because we fall off the cliff. And this guy just keeps dodging my attacks. All right, we got him. Whew. Close. Okay. Next up, the penitent runner may pass. And only the penitent runner. If you have any time save when you get here, remember humility. Because this level will ruin you and everything that you have ever had. There is so much stuff that just wants you dead. It is ridiculous. So, thankfully, there's a lot of forgiveness in this level. I'm going to be real careful here to try to get most of it. I am very, very low on health, which is not great. So I'm going to be doing some careful strats here to try to get some health back. Hopefully, yep, good. So we got our boost off of that. Okay, we just made that jump. Okay, so if all went well, we are on cycle. And what that means is starting right here, I can just kind of go for... Oh, we might not be on cycle. Oh, we're not on cycle. That's not good. Okay, we got it. Alright, so I am just holding right. I am doing nothing but holding right. Everything just kind of lined up for us. Thank goodness, because that was going to be miserable otherwise. Okay, so we don't have too much forgiveness coming in here. I need to... hang on. Oh. Come on, throw it high. Throw it high. Throw it high. Come on, throw your weapon high. Do it for me. Come on, throw it higher. Throw it higher. Higher than that. Why? Thank you. Okay, well, we're dead. Oh well. We're gonna go again from here. So we now get to experience this really horrible mechanic of this game that says if you pick up a power-up you can't pick it up anymore. It's gone. If you die, all the hearts that we got in this level, they go away. So now we just have to finish this level by being good. That's a real problem because I'm actually kind of bad. So we're just gonna have to do what we can here. I'm just gonna eliminate this guy outright. We have 1 hit point left. We might be able to get through this. Don't have a whip. That's not gonna happen. We're gonna go ahead and take one last death and walk on through and grenade our way through the end there. This is exactly what you would expect to happen on this level because it's horrible. Like, it's a great level, don't get me wrong, but good. I mean, look at this level. So many things want you dead. And it's mostly pits. It's mostly the pits that want you dead. Thankfully, enemies do stay gone once you've killed them, much like power-ups, so at least the game is consistent in that way. Alright, so we've made it to our final boss fight. The final boss fight, you all recall the scene where Indiana Jones fights a skeleton using only a grenade and a whip, right? You do? Good. Alright, I'm glad, because I had forgotten that scene in the movie, and frankly, I thought that I was losing... Oh, didn't grab the whip. That might still be okay. We can still get a little bit of excess damage in here by doing the whip jump. And time will be coming up very shortly, as soon as we get our last hit, which should be... now. 3056 is not terrible. It's alright. We again have to wait for the timer to count up here, but that is the end. GG's all around. A little bit of trouble on Penitent Runner. I should have kept my humility, but well, it is what it is. And of course, if we watch these final credits here, you'll see that the writing in this game is just not quite right. We're not gonna watch all the way through the credits. Just this little scene right here. Anna was the name of the dog. And this one. But it was a very nice dog, Dad. I like the name. Indiana Jones. Alright, that is it from me. I hope you all had a good time. Enjoyed it. We could always use more runners in the community. Feel free to send me some DMs. We'll get you into it. Thank you, thank you.